So now that you know you can mutate a list, how is that done? Very simply. We establish the matrix. We want to reset it somewhere. We pass in the name of the matrix itself, pass it to the function. We have our int star giving us access to the list, and at every single index, we're going to reset the number to 0. And then when we display it out here, it's going to go ahead and display the array is going to be all zeros. And notice, by the way, the size of the array of already, matter of fact, to be honest with you, that should be size, and I'll fix that in the notes. But size is already our global variable, which again, not in every case we're going to have that happen. You might have a case where it needs to be user input instead, then this is going to change slightly because I would still need to pass in the size of the array. Okay, so just a heads up on that. Now, why is there not a const in front of that? We talked about that before in little pieces in detail. Const would stop me from changing the array. Now, I want to change it. I want to reset it to 0, so that's why const is not in front of the integer that we had in other examples. So just heads up, this is example number 1. Here's our next example. In this example, we are passing the size to different functions that need both the array itself, which has been created, size of 10, and here's all the values for it. Here we go ahead and pass in the array and the size of it. You would need to do it for each one of the functions that we have here. Now, display in array is just doing that. Now, notice, by the way, it's const in front because all I'm doing is displaying. Whereas the other one, reset list to 0, there's no const in front of there. You know I'm passing in the array, and notice I am resetting that value to 0. Now, also return, notice, by the way, return is the return of list A. So also I have to pause for a moment. In this particular function, I am already being given access to list A, and I am resetting the value. Done. Once I'm done, that array has been changed. But the author on this one did something interesting. And I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm not crazy about it. Let's just put it that way. They then went ahead and returned the list. So notice the data type that we have here as our, well, return type in our function. That's an int star. And as soon as you saw int star, you know most likely that's going to be an array or something of that nature. But it also, in the yellow and the green highlighted here, there's the equal sign. You know that this function is going to return something, and it looks like it's going to return a new array. Did I have to do that? No. No, I really didn't. I'm curious on what the author was thinking about this, maybe creating another one or not. I don't have to do that. But yeah, that is another way of doing it. So interesting on this particular example and how to do that. But again, it really, the author is trying to say about returning an array. You can return an array. And here's proof in the pudding.